Oh, come on, Charlie
Okay.
Brown. Oh, come on, Charlie Brown.
Oh, hello, Stacy.
Oh, hi.
How are you?
I'm doing well. How you doing, Jeremy?
I'm great. I'm so happy to have you on the OhHello podcast and video. Thank you for being here, my friend.
Humbled to be here. Thanks for including me.
Of course, I know who you are, but I'm not so sure all the listeners and all the viewers know who you are, but a lot of them probably do. Who are you? Why are you here?
It's a great question I've been trying to answer for 40 years. I'm Stacy Bohrer. I am a mother of two living in Deerfield, Illinois. I am friends of Jeremy Bloom, and I've known you in the industry, the technology, advertising technology industry for what, 20 years? Sorry to date us, but it's been a while.
For a long
And
time.
that's a big part of who I am. And I think that brings us here today.
That defines who you are. I appreciate that. A hard worker, an innovator, a mother. How would you characterize your skill set, Stacy? Like, what would you say are some factors, some just true assets that you bring to the people you surround yourself, your teams, your family, your mentees, and the OhHello community that you're going to be part of?
Well, the first thing that came to mind is something that I fear other people will say when answering this question, but
I don't have a fear. Don't. This is
no fear. Okay.
no
Uh,
fear. Yeah.
Listen, I think I know how to build teams as well as anyone, including Phil Jackson. No, but that's what I do. That's what I thrive to do, to mentor younger, more junior sales folks, bring them up in the business and see how far they can get. That's what gets me out of bed in the morning.
I respect that. Oh, please keep on going. Please.
I was just going to say, when I think about who I am and what sets me apart or what assets you said, I'm definitely more EQ than IQ. So I lead with empathy and understanding above anything else. And that's kind of a good description of me.
We'll take it. We'll take it. What would you tell your 20 yourself, your 25-year-old self, your 30 yourself, or college Stacy? What you have now done over the past 17, 18 years of your career, 20 years of your career, like looking back, what have you learned? What would you have changed? And what kind of advice, guidance would you give the up and comers?
Well, I'm laughing because hopefully my mother never Googles me and sees this, but I distinctly remember her saying that I would never make it in Chicago by myself. I had
Well,
forgotten to do my homework or something like that in high school. And she was like, or no, it must have been college. She was like, you're never going to make it. There's no chance. So I would tell my former self that everything works out and that there's going to be no linear journey whatsoever. And you're going to go on several detours that you don't expect that end up being exactly the path you're supposed to be on. I would also tell myself that bravery will later be defined by myself as doing things in spite of being afraid, and that I should sharpen that skill above anything else that I do.
when's a time when you've been brave in that sense? That where you've sharpened that skill, that trait?
Yeah, I mean,
Thanks for
there's
being on the OhHello podcast.
yeah, well, seriously, I would say I am a squeaky wheel in the context of an organization. So when something's broken, it's impossible for me not to point it out. That's not always popular. And it does require bravery to point out imperfections in an organization when otherwise everything looks perfect. But if you want to achieve perfection, or excellence is a better way to put it, you have to be open to hearing where you can grow.
Profound. That's really well said. I appreciate that. Uh, the squeaky wheel needs to be looked at. The squeaky wheel is making the noise because over time, if that squeaky wheel is representing her or his team, the community, the culture, the essentially fostering a business unit, and it doesn't have the same TLC, doesn't have the same eyes and ears, it could fail. And you've absolutely, throughout your career of, in this case of not this particular case, but just you were the first person at a now incredibly well respected, well oiled machine like the trade desk. You were a very early employee. You started everything in the central U.S. between New York and California. Peers running parallel paths a decade ago, and watching you form into yourself has been fun. Just as a real life friend and industry friend in that sense.
Thank you.
Who are a few different mentors that you've had in your life? Who are some people
Yeah.
that you look up to?
So I was thinking about this in general, and I talk a lot about my board of directors.
Hmm.
I don't think I invented this, although I thought I did about 10 years ago. But it's an aggregate of people that I respect in the industry. You're on my board of directors. It's
Thank
3 to
you.
5 people whose aggregate opinion will help guide me as I make hard decisions in my career or challenge me to be better. So, like I always say, when one of my friends has a baby for the first time, the only advice I'll give you is to have a board of directors because everyone has an opinion. So, like, stop with all the noise and just focus on the people's opinions that you actually value. Another mentor would definitely be my mother. I get my work ethic from her. She's a retired second grade teacher. She is a workhorse. She slays. If there was a contest for the best teacher, it would be her. So I grew up learning both the value of a dollar from her and the value of hard work.
Mrs. Bogart, the
Yeah,
second grade dragon slayer.
exactly. I
Nice.
wouldn't want her. It would scare me. But anyway, those are some of my mentors.
That's great. That's great. As a hello, you're going to be able to donate to over 40 different charities and causes within the US. They're outside the US, and in future pods, we'll have some international folks. There are going to be a plethora of different options to give back. And also the way that you and I have talked about mentorship for so many years, being an expert or just pretending that you're an expert, same with me, and constantly innovating oneself. What is something that we both share that's near and dear to our hearts is just being able to give back, whether it's mentoring folks on our teams, if it's helping the community, if it's volunteering, or if it's supporting a cause that's near and dear to your heart. With that said, Stacy, what are some causes that are near and dear to your heart?
Well, two things come to mind. So, one, I'm a carrier of the BRCA gene. I don't know if you're familiar with that, but the
I am.
BRCA2 gene gives you a higher chance of breast and ovarian cancer. So there's a lot of charities associated with OhHello that would help solve some of those problems and preventative care. So that's a huge passion of mine. So thank you for being associated with them. And the other one is security on campus, which prevents and improves safety on campus across the country for college students.
So important, especially as our audience and so many different mentees, people getting into the space, getting into tech, marketing, advertising, SaaS, that are still in college, that just graduated college. Safety is so freaking important. I tell my children uh, just how important just knowing your surroundings, being aware of your surroundings, being aware of the people that you're with, just constantly, I hate to say it, but looking over your shoulder, so to speak.
And the
It's
best advice you can give them
is
is to work on their self-esteem because on US college campuses, 75% of college rape is by someone that you know. And if you have the confidence to either be sober or get yourself in the right situations, you have a much better chance of being safe for the duration of your time there.
Thank you, Stacy. Any parting words to our audience, to our guests? We appreciate that you're here. We appreciate you.
No, likewise. Thank you for being my friend. I'm excited about being a part of the OhHello community.
Thank you, Stacy. All right, everybody. Until next time, Stacy, thank you. So good to see you. Thank you, OhHello listeners.
Oh, come
Until the
on,
next
Charlie
one.
Brown. Oh, 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 oh.